Well, goddamn, as Sir K would say, shall he have been here? But that is not the case, man. But you guys got me. You guys got me, man. But goddamn, man, goddamn, what is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition of your WWE post-show reviews, man. Which this time we are bringing to you guys the WWE Crown Jewel 2024 official post-show review. Obviously, being that Crown Jewel just ended. So yeah, man, how's everybody doing, man? And what did you guys think of the show, man? What did you guys think of the show? It's 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 interesting, bro. It's interesting. There was a lot of stuff I thought could have been better on the show. There was a lot of stuff I definitely thought could have been better, and we're definitely going to get into that as we get into the show, man. But no, man. I mean, there was definitely a lot I thought could have been better, um, and better executed. I mean, yeah, I definitely thought there was a lot that could have been executed a lot better on this show. And like I said, we're gonna get into the specifics of all that. And I thought the show was nice, though, man. I thought the show was nice. I thought we got a nice amount of matches. And I know some people are probably gonna be mad that some of the matches got 8-9 minutes, but at the end of the day, man, this is what you guys asked for. You guys wanted these longer, or not necessarily longer pay-per-views, but bigger match cards for your pay-per-views. This is what you guys wanted, like I said. So yeah, a lot of people, like I said, probably are going to be upset by the fact that one or two of these matches were about 8 or 9 minutes. But again, this is what you asked for. Triple H, we know how Triple H is, bro. He's not going to want to keep that card insanely long. He's still going to want to keep it, somewhat around the 3 hour range, because I believe this one was about 3.5, maybe, or maybe a little over 3, maybe a little under 3.5, around that kind of timestamp. So but no, I thought it was fine, man. I thought it was fine. There Yeah, like I thought the card itself and the amount of matches they put on the card, I think, I know Triple H likes his 5 match cards, but I definitely think with the size of the roster that they have, I definitely think 6 or 7 is more appropriate for sure. And I thought it was well, man. I thought it was well. So yeah, but yeah, man. So I'm interested to know what you guys thought of the show, bro. So put it in the comment section, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the show. As yeah, so without any further ado, man, what is going on, everybody, man? And welcome back to another edition of NHP, another edition of your WWE post-show reviews. As yeah, man, if this is your first time watching, you guys do not know how the show works. Every Monday, we're on here after Monday Night Raw with Unscripted. Every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news. And every pay-per-view for both WWE and AEW, we are live directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review, man. So after this, the next time you could catch us on here is November the 23rd, I think it is, for Full Gear. Actually, I'm interested to know if that's on a... Okay, so they did pick a Saturday this year for Full Gear. I think Saturday's usually always... I think Full Gear is usually always a Saturday show anyway. But anyways, man, the next time you guys can catch us on here for one of the post-show reviews, like I said, it will be for AEW's Full Gear on the 23rd. And yeah, man, so if you guys did miss yesterday's edition of the news, it's not up on all platforms yet, but you guys know how the game goes, man. It should be up, as well as this Crown Jewel review, tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. That will be available on all platforms for you guys, man. But if you guys do want to catch us on all platforms, man, that is Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here, like I said, Friday at 4 p.m. Central with the news, man. So with that, man, if you guys have not got a chance to pick up some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, where you can get that very piece of merch on your screen to commemorate the rebrand of the podcast, man. Like I said, with the design on your screen, man, you can pick it up today, man. The next chapter design to commemorate the rebrand of NHP, man, with the new logo and all. So, with that, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this podcast, and as for the other half, he's not here today, but he will be back on Monday. It's normally Sir K, but he was not able to make this show, man, so you guys are stuck with me. But yeah, bro, so how's everybody doing? As Durante always asks, I'm good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell, naysayers, whether you guys are here now or a part of the Replay Mafia? My guys, JT and JB, thank you guys for joining us as always, man, and thank you all for being here. So, Crown Jewel, man. Well, you know, I know the Bloodline can't, main event everything, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But I definitely would have, I can't lie to you guys, man, I definitely would have taken a Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, that last shot of them that they gave us where Roman's sitting in the ring and Sami's behind him on the ramp. I definitely would have taken that over Cody and Liv Morgan celebrating with championships that like engulf their whole stomach or are like the size of like 4 of their fucking heads. I definitely would have taken that. I can't lie to you guys, but again, I understand the Bloodline cannot main event everything, and I understand that they gotta position the Crown Jewel titles as a big deal, even though they're really not. But for the Saudi crowd, they have to. But nonetheless, man, I thought, Triple H with the Saudi shows, bro, he's never really given us a bad show, right? There's obviously been, boring ones, or there's been one where they kind of put, fluff on it. But this one, I wouldn't necessarily say they put fluff on it. Like I said, I honestly thought, man, a lot could have been handled a lot better on this show. And obviously, like I said, we're gonna get into it. But yeah, like I said, man, it's not that they put like fluff on the show like they normally do, bro. But or at least they normally used to do. Thank God we're out of that era. But no, like I said, man, Triple H hasn't necessarily given us a bad Saudi show. It's just sometimes they can just kind of. They can kind of be a bit head scratchy, or they can kind of just be I mean, not even with Saudi shows with Triple H, man. Sometimes his shows are just kind of make you just scratch your head a bit and just think, what? So it is what it is. But yeah, but like I was saying, man, I to be honest, bro, in my humble opinion, I definitely would have taken the whole Sami Zayn dramatic Bloodline ending, Roman's in the ring, sad, and Sami's walking away behind him. If it was me booking the show, I honestly probably would have booked that in the main event. But like I said, I get they want to position the Crown Jewel titles, and both of your world champions are in the main event, so I get it. I get it, man, but it just, yeah, like I said, I just, personally, I would have taken that over, like I said, Cody and Liv celebrating with, titles the size of a fucking Nona's pizza. So, shout out to anybody who, knows Nona's pizza, if you're from the Chicago area. But bro, if you guys are from this area, bro, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Those giant fucking like 40-inch pizzas that Nona's has. And Nona's is pretty trash, I can't lie. It's a little too much breading for me. But that giant like table long fucking pizza they sell, yeah, those. Nonetheless, all right. Let's move us here, and let's get this underway with the first match on the card. The Bloodline This was interesting from the jump, man. And when I say the jump, I mean Jay's entrance. It was very interesting because everybody comes out like normal. Solo and his bloodline comes out. They're all, geeking out. Jacob Fatu's emoting and Tamatonga's doing his stitch. So, and Tongalo is just obviously there, just letting everybody bask in his greatness as normal. But so Roman and Jimmy come out and they're by themselves. They're together. It's basically, the bloodline entrance type thing, but with the two of them. Everything's good. As soon as Jay comes out, Roman clearly has a lot of character. He clearly has a lot of character he needs to work on here, because for as much as he is, pretending to change and all this stuff, he sure did have an interesting look on his face when Jay was coming out. He looked so annoyed by the fact that Jay was coming through the crowd. He's having fun. He's jumping around with the fans. He's yeeting. He's being Jay Uso, right? And Roman, like I said, just had a very just smug just attitude about himself, and you could see the look on his face when Jay Uso when Jay Uso was coming out. Like I said, he just had this look on his face like, is this guy fucking serious right now? Like, could we get over with this bullshit? Like, what are you doing? Um and I like that. I like that because for everything, and obviously it was a funny, cool moment to hear Roman Reigns say "yeet" last night on SmackDown. You know that is, Jay Uso sitting there telling you that this isn't fixed, and the problems with us aren't fixed, and if you disrespect me, I'm gonna get out of line. And all Roman Reigns has to say is "yeet." I don't know, man. It almost sounds like that's a little bit of a cover up. It sounds to me like it's a little bit of a cover up for what Roman Reigns really wants to say, and that is to tell Jay to go fuck himself. But he is, I feel, he is listening to Jimmy, and Jimmy is in his ear telling him, look, dude, we need his help. We need his help. We need to get the family back together, all that good stuff. And I feel like Roman may be just burying away the context of his character in order for some help, because deep down he knows that Jimmy is right and they do need help and they need to get the family back together. But I just really wonder what it's going to take for Roman Reigns to um actually start to accept change and accept that, like Jay was telling him on SmackDown, they are all equals now. They are, it is not Roman Reigns and it is not Roman Reigns and the right hand and the left hand and the middle man. It is Roman Reigns and the Usos. It's it's Roman, Jimmy, and Jay. So it's good. Obviously, it's taking a lot for Roman to accept that, and this was interesting, man. This was very interesting, like I said. So from the start, man, like I said, they're just planting these Easter eggs, in your head that just make you look at this sideways, like, that's interesting, bro. And it gets more interesting because Jay and Tama Tonga start the match. It almost looked like Roman wanted to start, but Jay, stood 10 toes down. He told Roman, let me start. And Roman said, okay. He didn't really it didn't seem like he had a problem with it. And Jay and Tama Tonga start. Soon, not too not too far after that, I mean, Jacob Fatu got a little offense in on Jimmy. Jay got back in the match, and Jay got back in the match, and then Tama Tonga also got back in the match, and the crowd is chanting for the OTC. They're chanting, man, they want to see Roman. They're chanting, we want Roman. Roman does his slow little, thing where he puts his fist out and, almost the thing he does with the mic, but in this case to make a tag. So he puts his fist out for the tag as Jay's in the ring, and Jay looks at him, and it's almost, again, it's almost like Roman Reigns is just expecting Jay to listen to him and tag him in. Jay says to hell with that. He tags Jimmy. This obviously gave a weird response from Roman as he was just looking at him like, dude, really? Like, what are you doing? And Jimmy would then get in. Jimmy would get in, and he would kind of yell at Jay a little bit and tell him like, dude, you can't be doing this if we want to win this match. Like, you got to get it together. So he's trying to get these two to get it together, because obviously now there's a little tension there, and this minor distraction, man, would lead to a lot of offense from Solo's bloodline for a while. For a while, it almost seemed we got a lot of Solo offense. Jacob Fatu got in there a little bit. He got in there for a little bit, man. As again, this would lead back to Jay and Tama Tonga in the ring, where the hot tag to Roman from Jay was executed this time, and Roman got the hot tag finally from Jay. He gets in with Solo. He gets in with Solo, and he hits Solo ends up hitting Roman Reigns with a spike, which would lead to a near fall. It would lead to a near fall. Jacob would get in for a little bit. He would get a lot of offense on Roman Reigns. Jay would then hop in. We would get a face-off with Jay and Jacob Fatu. Roman at this point in time was the legal man with Solo. Tama Tonga would get on the top rope, man, and Roman would throw him over the top rope. He would throw him over the top rope and throw him right onto the referee. So, as you guys all know, would it be a bloodline match if the referee did not go down? No, it would not. Because the ref goes down. The ref goes down as Tonga Loa, rather, the GOAT, the king, the real tribal chief, Tonga Loa. As soon as the ref went down, he hopped up. Roman Reigns went over there, gave him a Superman punch. He would then get a whole sequence by Jacob Fatu. I'm talking the super kick, the pop-up power bomb, the double roped backflip that he does, where he jumps on both ropes and executes the backflip. He gets attacked by Roman. This would lead to Solo hitting him with 3 Samoan spikes to pin the OTC clean. Clean, bro. Now, again, obviously, man, they're going to keep Roman strong, being that they did have the distraction and the whole team kind of get in and hit all their moves, or at least Jacob Fatu hit all his moves on him, to then obviously lead to 3 Samoan spikes, and Roman Reigns was pinned. Interesting. That is very interesting, man, because again, how much is it going to take before Roman Reigns really gets everybody on the same page and in unison? And they said it before the match. Commentary had pointed out that Solo's bloodline, they pointed out, for as great as the OG bloodline was, Solo's bloodline right now is probably in more unison, and they're probably more together than the OG bloodline ever was. And that really goes to show, because OG bloodline in the years of 2021 and the earlier half of 2022, that's, they were a dominating group. They were a dominating group, but it really goes to show how they were never truly in unison, because at the end of the day, man, the Usos, although they they took shit from Roman. They didn't want to put up with the shit from Roman, but Solo's bloodline, like they said, is just in unison, bro. So it really goes to show. It really goes to show the level of storytelling they're going to have to execute with Roman Reigns that really gets him over the hump of being a narcissist and being an egotistical asshole. And obviously, it's going to take a lot for him to do that because, you know, if anybody knows a narcissist or if anybody knows an egotistical, manipulative asshole, it's very hard to get those kind of people to change their ways. You almost can't, in a way. But obviously, in Roman's case, we all know at some point his character is going to come to a big climax with the direction of his character and how he looks at certain things. But the question is, will it be before War Games or will it be after War Games, man? Because it's just very interesting to see how they're going to go into War Games and all that situation here, man. But so after the match, the Solo bloodline is standing in the ring. The Solo bloodline is standing in the ring, and they are celebrating. They are celebrating, man. They put the Ulafala on Solo as Roman tries to attack Solo. He kind of like hops up, but he's still kind of like, he's still kind of woozy because he just took, Jacob Fatu's whole move set. Plus 3 Samoan spikes, so he's kind of woozy after all this, and he kind of just like almost like a fish out of water, just kind of like flops up and like tries to like grab onto Solo and like hit him, but this would then lead to the Bloodline to pounce on him. The Bloodline would attack him. They would start attacking him on the outside. They would start attacking him on the outside, looking to put him through the announce table. Jimmy and Jay get back into the fold as they're just getting destroyed. They're getting destroyed by the new Bloodline. They end up going for that hip attack that they put Jimmy Uso out with the chair wedged in between his head. So they get Jay in the corner. They put the chair on his head, and they go for the hip attack. But then we hear the theme song of one Sami Zayn. Oh shit. This is obviously where things get very interesting. Sami is standing between Solo and Jay, because Solo is obviously getting ready to do the hip attack. Sami's standing between them, and he's looking at Solo, and Solo puts his arms up for a hug. He puts his arms up for a hug. He tells Sami to join them. As Sami goes for the hug, he opens up his arms, he walks towards Solo, and he hits him with an exploder. He hits him with an exploder in the middle of the ring. Huge, huge pop by the crowd. Sami goes to, like I said, hug Solo Sikoa, but he hits him with an exploder. The Bloodline then attacks Sami. OG Bloodline get in the ring. They take out all the members except for Solo. They take out Jacob. They get Jacob. They get the Tongans out of the ring. And then this leaves us with Solo in the middle of the ring, and he's surrounded by Jay, Jimmy, Sami, and Roman, right? Sami and Roman are in opposing corners, or corners across from each other, and they're all like the rumbling at this point because everybody's just chomping at the bits to humble Solo Sikoa. Roman runs at Solo with a Superman punch as Sami runs at Solo with a haluva kick. Solo runs out of the ring, and this leaves Sami Zayn, as Roman Reigns has jumped in the air already. This leaves Sami Zayn to big boot or haluva kick this shit out of Roman Reigns' face. Sammy kicks Roman in the face. He's obviously very, he feels bad, which is also something I want to expand upon. He feels bad, and Jimmy gets in his face, and he's pushing Sammy, and he's asking him why, he's telling him, why would you do that? Jay then gets in between them, and this then leads for some pushing and some shoving, as Sammy just says to hell with it. He walks out. As the shot, as Sammy's leaving this scenario, the shot is basically the spot they did at WrestleMania 39, where Cody's sitting in the middle of the ring, and he's sitting and he's looking off into the distance, and behind him you can see Roman Reigns celebrating with the championships. But instead, Roman was sitting in the middle of the ring, and he's staring off into the distance as Sammy is standing behind him, just walking away, sad. He's sad for what just happened, because in typical Sami Zayn fashion, he tried to have the best intentions. And it always ends up biting him in the ass. But that was basically everything that happened with the Bloodline here tonight. And although I did like it, I really did like it, man. But my thing here, bro, is I don't necessarily, so it's like with Sammy, I felt they might have gave us a little too much offense between Solo and between Sammy. And what I mean by that is I really would have liked for there to be a little bit more teasing of Solo actually being cool with Sami Zayn, because it was only this past Monday we seen them talking, at the car. And I would have liked to know at least what they talked about, or at least maybe try to play up to the fact of like, Sammy and Solo actually might be cool. Or maybe play up to the fact of, oh shit, maybe Sammy is gonna talk some sense into Solo and get him to reconcile with his family. But instead, it's almost we never really got the chance to hear what was said out in that parking lot before Sammy, helped before Sammy helped the OG bloodline here. And also too, I've seen a lot of people saying, well, he didn't want to see Jay get hurt. I would have also them like to tease, like, maybe Sammy feels some type of way about Jay Uso right now, because the last time they spoke, he fucking told him he wasn't family. So I really would have liked, I think overall, man, what I'm trying to say is I really would have liked some time to breathe, right? Before we got into the whole, because now it's official. Sami Zayn is against Solo's bloodline, and he's going to obviously be back with the OG bloodline, which we all knew was going to happen anyway. But at the end of the day, I felt they could have just done a little bit more teasing, behind the fact of like, Sammy might be pissed at them, or maybe Sammy, is cool with Solo, and or maybe Sammy just feels done now because they told him he wasn't family. Or I really would have liked them to play around with it a little bit more, which probably is a testament to maybe, either they should have started this a little sooner, or what am I saying? They should have started this a little sooner, or they should have not, like I said, done the turn to the extreme like they did tonight, and maybe did it in about a week or two, because the good thing about here, and also this is too, I didn't really understand why they went to these depths here, with having, like I said, Sammy kind of officially turn on, or put himself against Solo's bloodline. you have, you know, 4 weeks until Survivor Series, and that's not necessarily 4 weeks. That's almost like 8 weeks, because with the Bloodline story, Jay and Sammy are on Raw, so you know the Bloodline's going to start popping up on Raw. You also know they're going to pop up on SmackDown. So it's almost like you have 8 episodes of content to push this out, as opposed to 4, if all these guys were on the same brand. So that especially is why I didn't understand, like I said, why they didn't play around with this a little more. Have a little fun with it, like I said. Have Sammy be pissed off at Jay. Have Sammy tell Jay, "Look, dude, that really upset me what you said to me." And I went to Solo to see what the fuck was going on, and see what was going on for myself, and see, what was kind of going on here um with both bloodlines. But I mean, overall, overall, and again, maybe Solo, maybe the reason Sammy turned on Solo was because, Solo, told Sammy, "Look, we were out there to help him. We were out there to help him keep the IC title. He ended up losing it because he wanted to fight with us instead. And that's why he lost the championship. But I would never intentionally hurt Jay." And then maybe Sammy's seen them intentionally go to hurt Jay like he did tonight, and it pissed him off and he turned. But again, we don't know that, because the little parking lot segment only happened on Monday. And again, we don't even know what was said in there. We didn't even get to dive deep into that before Sammy officially went back to help the OG bloodline. And like I said, it makes it makes it, I don't know, man, it makes it feel just a little too rushed, or a little not expanded upon. It's like they wanted to go a mile long but only an inch deep. So that's just my complaint with that. Like I said, I mean, at face value, things make sense. Like I said, at face value, they make sense, because we all know Sammy was going to go back to the OG bloodline. He probably didn't like, that they were going to, try to mess around and take Jey Uso out for months with the hip attack. But I just would have liked to see it expanded upon before we did that segment. That's what I'm saying. I feel we should have done more before to tell the story and set the table, and then did what you did tonight. And I think that would have been perfect. Like I said, play with it a little bit. Make us believe in our mind, oh shit, maybe Sammy really is mad at Jay, and he might end up going with Solo. I mean, again, we all know that wasn't going to happen, but fucking play around with it a little bit, okay? But yeah, man, that was what I was feeling about the bloodline segment, man. Like I said, I liked what they did. I just wish we would have got, I wish they would have set the table a little bit beforehand, and I think it would have been chef's kiss. I think it would have been perfect. But that is not the way that they went, man. So we'll have to see what happens here, and obviously I'm interested to see what happens here, because like I said, obviously I'm always going to be interested in the bloodline stuff. This was some of the peak for me tonight. There was obviously one other thing that I thought was just done amazingly, but this kind of stuff, although it wasn't executed to how I felt it should have been, it was still nonetheless one of the most intriguing things on the show, and I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it very much. So I'm interested to see what happens here, and please, for the love of God, expand on what happened in the whole parking lot, and expand on, I think the way you move away from this is, have Sammy say something to Jay along the lines of, like, I shouldn't have helped because I'm not family, but I still helped, thus just kind of proving the point of, like, Sammy's gonna help these boys because they're his family, right? At this point, bro, it's not even a gimmick. It's not even just a t-shirt, bro. Sami Zayn is in the Samoan dynasty, bro. It's just how it is, bro. It's the story. He took our hearts. Sami Zayn absolutely took our hearts here with the whole just with the whole honorary Uce storyline, bro. This man is in the Samoan dynasty, bro. Can nobody tell me different? This man is a Canadian Arabic Samoan. Okay, that is what Sami Zayn is. Um, Samoan has been added in there, bro. So it's just how it is, bro. And that you know, like I said, just furthering the point, you know. So I think that's how you move away from this. I think, you know, Sammy says, you know, I think Sammy says something to Jay along the lines of like, this is not my fight, but at the end of the day, bro, I'm not gonna see them hurt you. But then have him say something along the lines like, but you know, maybe I should have, since I'm not family. You know, since I'm not family to you after everything. Thus kind of proving the point, like I said, and pulling on the heartstrings a little bit of all of us, bro. Excuse me, pulling on the heartstrings of all of us. So yeah, man, but God, Sami Zayn just being back involved with the bloodline stuff, dude, is exactly why a lot of people wanted to see a lot of different things here. A lot of people did not want Sammy involved with this. A lot of people wanted to see Jacob Fatu be brought in with the OG bloodline. A lot of people wanted to see Hikaleo be brought back with the OG bloodline, man. A lot of people wanted to see Zilla over Sammy. And, you know, those are great options, of course. But, dude, there's just something about Sami Zayn and the emotion that he brings out. And that is why, to be 100% honest with you, if I look at the landscape personally, he probably is my favorite WWE superstar right now. I just think him and Gunther are definitely up there, bro. But for me, if I'm looking at this from a babyface perspective, Sami Zayn is probably my favorite, man. There is not many guys that can exude that amount of emotion out of an audience just by fucking being there. Just because he's, you know, just readily involved with the bloodline again. It just adds so much emotion and intrigue because he's just so good at what he does. And we all know the story, and we all just have sympathy for Sammy in the bloodline story. And it's a beautiful thing. And like I said, man, this is also why this is probably my favorite story of all time. And for anybody that knows me, knows that it was probably a really hard decision, which it was, to slot Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa down to number 2. But this bloodline story, it's so rich, and it's just the reason why. It's the exact reason why storytelling is king in pro wrestling, man. If you do not have story, if you do not have intrigue, man, or if you do not have story, then you do not have intrigue, bro, and nobody's gonna care. But the story is so rich here, and it's so amazing, and that's why I love it. And that's why I love it. But I love Sami Zayn, like I said, just being involved with the bloodline again. And this is why I knew it was going to hit for Sami Zayn to be back involved with the bloodline, bro, because Sammy just brings out that emotion, man. He just brings out that emotion. And that's as simple as it goes, bro. But yeah. Solo pins Roman Reigns in the opening match here to Crown Jewel. Very shocking, which now that this has happened, does the OG Bloodline win War Games? Which, if that's the case, what happens to Solo? Does Solo go back to reform the real OG, or maybe not the OG Bloodline, but the OG peak Bloodline, maybe, with Roman, the Usos, Sammy, and Solo, as maybe Jacob Fatu puts something together along the lines of Fatu, the Tongans, and Hikaleo. Maybe something like that, as maybe Sammy, maybe after War Games, Sammy, you know, goes away and maybe isn't as involved with the bloodline, and then we just get the 4-on-4. What would happen? You know what I mean? What would happen if Solo's bloodline loses in War Games? So it's very interesting. You know, do they blame it on Solo? Do they kick him out of the group? And if the OG bloodline loses, does Roman finally come to the realization that he needs to move away from his narcissistic ways, or what happens, man? It's very interesting, and I'm telling you, man. Obviously, we'll be talking to you guys in about 4 weeks with the with the War Games. with the Survivor Series War Games review, man. And God, am I just very excited to see how they execute all that and how they go about the two War Games matches and stuff. So I'm very very excited to see how that whole thing goes. But yeah, man, that was that. That was your opener to Crown Jewel. As yeah, like I said, man. Overall, the match was okay. The match wasn't. I mean, it wasn't some sort of 6-man banger or anything like that. But I mean, it was okay. It did its job. It told its story, and then at the end, the stuff with Sami Zayn was very good. Although I thought could have been executed a lot better. So yeah. The next match, the Women's Tag Team Championship, Fatal 4-Way. We have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, Damage Control, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. The Metaphor Girls, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Chelsea Green actually had a pretty good showing in here. She was just very comical and just very animated, as she is, bro. But you know, there was obviously certain things in this match that annoyed me, just because I think that, you know, I think WWE thinks certain people are a little too big for their britches. But overall, the match was okay. You know, it wasn't. I'll tell you, man, this match went 12 minutes. I wish this was one of the matches that went like 8 minutes, just because I do not care to see this. I would have much rather seen, um, Judgment Day versus War Raiders, even though I would like to see War Raiders on Survivor Series War Games in the undercard, fighting for the tag team championships. That's the perfect time. Please do not fucking put that championship match on Raw. Put these guys on pay-per-view. Give them a spotlight. Enough is enough. I can't even tell you the last time a tag team match was on a pay-per-view. I want to say it was WrestleMania, and that was fucking in April. It's November. It is November the 2nd. Come on, man. Come on. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting fucking ridiculous. But if I had a hand in this, man, I'm really saying, being that it doesn't seem like, because my original idea was, how about instead of Priest versus Gunther for the undercard of Survivor Series, how about you do Gunther, Priest, and Finn? You know, it obviously all ties back into SummerSlam, and it ties into Damian wanting another shot, but this time Finn Balor's going to stick his nose in there. So I thought that would have been nice. But obviously that's not the case, and it looks like judging off what they announced, it's probably just going to be Priest versus Gunther, which means Finn Balor is freed up. Okay, back to my point. That means Finn Balor is completely freed up. He's still a tag team champion with, JD McDonut, and for the love of God, get spotlight on the tag team division. Put these fucking guys on pay-per-view. War Raiders, War Games. Come on, bro. Put them on the War Games pay-per-view. Obviously, they won't be in the War Games match, but put them on the War Games pay-per-view for the love of God. Have them challenge for the tag team titles. Have JD McDonough, Finn Balor, and the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, go out there and kill it and put some spotlight and get some excitement, garner some excitement behind the tag team division. For the love of God, please. So, what was I saying? Chelsea Green was very good in this match, man. I also thought that Io Sky was very, very good in this match, and Jakara Jackson, I don't know why this was annoying me so much. Why, before she did every move, she pointed at the person she was doing the move to? Like, if she was running at you, she just pointed. Like, there was so many points in this match where she would, like, hit the ropes and just, like, point at the person before and, like, as she's running at them. That was kind of weird. I don't know. I'm assuming for those who watch NXT, that's probably a normal thing to you guys, but that was kind of odd. Like I said, why did she keep pointing at people? It was a bit odd. Some of her and Lash Legends moves are kind of cool. I'll admit that. I'll admit that. But they're both very, in my honest opinion, man. That they both need a lot of work still. They both need a lot of work, and I mean they're coming along. They're coming along. I feel like I feel like Lash Legend has got a little bit better than the first time that I've ever seen her. In the opening days of 2.0, bro. But I feel like she's gotten a little better. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that Jakara Jackson's pointing was a bit odd. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a bit strange, to be honest with you guys, man. So the big face off that we were leading up to in this match was between the whole face-off we were leading up to in this match ended up being a face-off between Jade Cargill and Lash Legend. See what I mean? See what I mean when I say people are too big for their britches? I don't know who WWE thinks Jade Cargill is, other than an AEW steal. But dude, they build her up in these matches like she is something of Brock Lesnar in 2014, and she is not, bro. I'm sorry, man. Like, again, when she first came into WWE, I can see the improvements from, and that was at the Royal Rumble when we first seen her in WWE. I could see improvements on her. I could see improvements. I really could, bro. But from that point until now, I genuinely, I'm not even saying this to be mean, bro. I seriously do not I don't see the improvements, and I don't see what exactly it is WWE sees in her, other than an AEW steal and, somebody who looks like a fucking superwoman, you know, she looks like a superhero, obviously, but like, I don't know. I don't know, man. When Bianca Belair is just doing all-time carry jobs, yeah, every time these women get on pay-per-view, bro, Bianca Belair is just doing all-time carry jobs, and it just looks so bad, bro. It looks so bad because she could do so much better. But here she is, man, and she has to be stuck in this tag team with Jade Cargill, and it just, I don't know, man. So, like I said, the whole climax to the match was a face-off between Jade Cargill and Lash Legend. I don't know who wants to see this, bro, but I seriously don't know who wanted to see this, but I can sure in the fuck tell you it wasn't me. And this leads to them giving... actually, what was good out of this was the strikes that they gave each other, man. They were slapping each other on the chest, and man, it sounded great. It sounded great, and that was where it ended, bro, because Lash Legend goes to go for a bicycle kick. She gets her leg all the way up to Jade's head, except Jade moves. Jade Cargill then goes for a bicycle kick of her own, She does not get her leg up past Lash Legend's thigh. Are you serious? How how long how long has she done that move? How long has she done that move? And it's you couldn't get her. She literally bicycle kicked Lash Legend like in the middle of her thigh. That's a pretty fucking long way from her head. It was a pretty mid-ass encounter other than the slaps. Um we then got this sequence where the damage control hit moonsaults onto everybody on the outside. Or Kyrie did the elbow, Io did the moonsault. Chelsea Green then gets tagged in, and her and Piper are going to go for the unprettier and Piper's little God, it used to be Jack Swagger's move, and I can't think of the name of it. Oh my god. Um Almost, yeah, like a Vader bomb. Yeah, like a Vader bomb. Like a Vader bomb. I can't think of what Jack Swagger used to call it. I don't know, but it's a thing where he's on the middle rope and they fly down into like a body splash. A Vader bomb. But they go for that. Chelsea goes to hit Jade with the unprettier, and Jade counters, throws Chelsea underwear pipe in. Piper is supposed to drop. Piper does the Vader bomb, realizes she just hit Chelsea. She for some reason walks back up onto the second rope, which then led Jade Cargill to hit her or get her up on the shoulders for a doomsday device by her and Bianca, by Jade and Bianca, and they pinned Piper Niven to retain the women's tag team championships. Who fucking cares? Who cares, bro? And again, bro, this match honestly wasn't as horrible as I thought it would have been. There was obviously, like I said, just things I think WWE just I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. They had a weird little thing for a long time where they would always put the US title match on the SmackDown before the pay-per-view. That is the spot they should give Jade and Bianca, bro, because half of these matches, bro, and even though it did not turn out as bad as necessarily I thought it would, what are these shows called exactly? Premium live events? There's nothing about the women's tag team division that screams premium to me. And again, there's nothing that Jade and Bianca are doing as a team, again, that screams premium to me whatsoever. So I don't know, man. It's just I don't know why they continue to put these matches on here other than the fact of they desperately want Jade Cargill to work in WWE. And I mean, I get it. She's very marketable, but at the end of the day, how marketable can you be when you're not that good? I'm sorry. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, but that was this match. That was this match. Like I said, it wasn't even that horrible of a match, man. It really wasn't, dude. It was just something that I just did not I don't think that they should continue to be getting pay-per-view spots, bro, when these are not pay-per-view worthy matches. Like I said, WWE decided to give themselves the moniker of a premium live event, and nothing about any of these women's tag team matches that have been on pay-per-view are even close to being a premium thing. So, sorry, not sorry. The next match. Ah, God, I gotta take a drink before this one. Oh, or maybe another one. Hmm. Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. Hmm. Well, I'll tell you right now, what was certainly better than the ending of this match was Bronson Reed's attire. This man got like 1,000+ aura points here tonight on Crown Jewel, bro. This man, Bronson Reed. This man, Bronson Reed, bro, comes out here. Excuse me. Okay. This man, Bronson Reed, got like 1,000+ aura points here tonight. This man comes out wearing a MF Doom inspired attire. Dude, that shit was hard. Obviously, 2 days ago, yeah, 2 days ago, it was the 4-year anniversary of Doom's passing, so rest in peace to the legend. But man, I seen Bronson Reed coming out, and I did a double take because I look up and I look back down for a split second as he's making his entrance, and I look back up again, and him and Rollins are fighting. So I kind of let it go. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, did I just see the Doom mask? And him and Rollins, they're fighting before the match, and then obviously when the match gets started, and I seen the front of his singlet again, or as they got a little bit into their brawl, I seen the singlet again, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I noticed the font on the back of the singlet is the same font for Operation Doomsday, or it's just the typical font that like graffiti type font that Doom usually uses. And I'm like, oh my god, this fucking guy's wearing a MF Doom attire. That was fucking hard, bro. And I don't know if Mattel can make that or not, but I'm gonna need them to at least figure that out, bro, because if we can get this MF Doom attire in figure form, that would be absolutely nuts, bro. That would be absolutely nuts. And that attire was hard as fuck, bro. Like I said, I looked up, did the hardest double take of my life. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, was that a Doom attire? And I'm like, oh man, is bro, 1,000+ aura points for Bronson Reed, bro. I love me some MF Doom, bro. I love me some MF Doom, man. Well, from this point forward, I guess we gotta remember to spell Bronson Reed's name in all caps, man. So that was hard. That was absolutely hard. I love that. I absolutely love that. I sort of geeked out when I was watching Crown Jewel just because of how hard I thought the attire was. So cool, so fucking cool, bro. I always love when they do stuff like that. Like I remember back at WrestleMania 35 when Kofi did like a Biggie attire. He did like the Kuji print with the gold, and they had the crown on it. Sick. I love that kind of shit, bro. I love that kind of shit. I always love when, you know, that they reference sort of things in pop culture that I like, or like artists that I like. It's always a very cool thing, and it always just makes you geek out, you know, just as a wrestling fan, seeing other just pop culture references that you know and you like. You're like, oh man, that's cool. So like I know a lot of people just geeked out for what's her face, Kalani Jordan Spider-Gwen attire. Very cool stuff, bro. But the MF Doom attire, and it had the mask, had the Doom mask really big, like on his stomach. Looks so sick, bro. It looks so fucking cool. Very cool attire, and I really want to see him do more stuff like that, man, because that was absolutely hard, man. That was absolutely hard, man. So Bronson comes out to the stage. He's making his entrance, and a fight breaks out with the two before the match gets underway. Before the match gets underway, These two are going at it. They're slugging it out, and the match eventually gets started, and these two are in the ring. Bronson hits a tsunami. He goes to the top for another tsunami, and at this point in time, I'm like, yes, yes, this is going to be a squash. Bronson's going to get this man here, whoop his ass or Rollins going to try to get the jump on him, but he's going to whoop his ass, get him in the ring. Match is going to officially start, hit a couple tsunamis, and he's going to beat him. I thought that was perfect. I thought that was absolutely perfect. If this match would have been a squash, I would have been okay with it. I would have absolutely been okay with this because the way they've been booking Bronson Reed, I thought it was appropriate. But he goes for the tsunami, hits it. He goes for another one, he misses it. Rollins hits Bronson with a stomp, which would then be kicked out of at 2. We would then go on to basically tell the story in this match of Bronson Reed getting a ton of offense, dude, and basically just picking apart Seth Rollins, pretty much. And Seth clearly was just, again, being dissected by Bronson Reed. Bronson was getting a lot of offense and whatnot, and there's a point in this match where Reed goes to pick up Rollins, and Rollins tells him, "You should have put me away when you had the chance." Rollins kind of starts to fight back, but Bronson then again gets on top of it with more offense, which I get. Rollins was getting offense, a little bit of offense here and there, but Bronson was the main one getting a lot of offense in this one. He hits Seth Rollins with a superplex off the top. They get to the outside of the ring. Bronson picks up steps. Okay, he picks up steps. He goes to throw them at Rollins or hit Rollins with him with the steps. Rollins hits Bronson in the knee. He hits Bronson in the knee. Bronson drops the steps and he falls almost to where he's on the steps, right? He's got his arms on the step and his head is dangling right over the steel steps. Rollins hits a curb stomp to Bronson on the steps. He gets Bronson in the ring. He hits him with another stomp. He goes to the top, and as Bronson gets up, he hits him with another stomp. And Rollins picks up the victory. God damn it. Bro, why? This was honestly one of my biggest gripes. This was probably my biggest gripe throughout the night. You had fucking Bronson Reed lose? Bro. With the MF Doom gear on? Come on, man. What the fuck? Dude. Why? Again, if this match would have ended in convincing fashion, if this match was 30 seconds long, and in those 30 seconds he hit fucking 8 tsunamis, that would have been a great way to end it. You should have had Bronson Reed, but again, if you don't want to indefinitely keep Rollins out for a long time again to have him sell 8 tsunamis, why didn't you just have Bronson win? Dude, you mean to tell me after all the work you put into him and how amazing he's been, this dude has been one of the best parts about Monday Night Raw over the course of the past couple months, whenever they started pushing him after when did he attack Seth? After the Raw after Bash in Berlin. That was what, the end of August? So that was early September, first week of September. You've been pushing this guy hard for 2 months and he loses? And sure, he got stomped on the steel steps, but he shouldn't have fucking lost. He shouldn't have lost. Why was this decision made? And you got fucking commentary throughout the night saying, well, if Bronson wins this match, he could prove that he's up to par with the level of competition here in WWE. So what the fuck are you trying to tell me? He's not up to par with the competition here in WWE? I mean, why are we pushing this guy so hard if we put him against Rollins and he's gonna fucking lose? I would have been okay with, if they do a trilogy, I would have been okay with Rollins winning the second one, and that's it. But Bronson absolutely needed to win the first and the third. I don't understand. I don't understand, bro. We push this guy and push him and push him and push him. Hell, if you ask me, he should have been the last monster standing. Especially being that Braun got hurt in that match. I don't know why they didn't call an audible. Bronson wins the match, and then Rollins attacks Bronson afterwards. I don't know why we have to purposely derail ourselves here. I don't understand it, bro. We're on the straight and narrow, right? We're on the straight and narrow with Bronson Reed. He's going right down the fucking tracks, and you just have to have him fucking go left. Go fucking straight. What the fuck? Why was it ever even a thought for Bronson Reed to get pinned in the middle of this run that he's been on? We're trying to build this guy, okay? He's not a made superstar like Seth Rollins, like Drew McIntyre, or like, Roman Reigns or any one of those guys. We're trying to push him. He cannot be taking losses in spots where it would have been huge for him to win here. Completely fucking unacceptable booking here. I don't know, man. And on top of that, you had him fucking losing the MF Doom attire? What the fuck? What was that? I don't know, man. I don't know. I was not rocking with this one bit, dude. I was not rocking with this at all, bro. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I truly don't understand why it was even a thought in somebody's brain for Bronson to take a pin. I mean, they made it a little better with, Rollins stomping him on the steps. I mean, but what? I don't get it, bro. And I don't know. I don't know, man. And please don't give me the excuse, oh, well, he lost, it's going to make him more angry. Did it fucking make Chad Gable more angry when he lost to Sami Zayn 3 straight pay-per-views or whatever it was? 3 straight matches or whatever they had, 2 straight matches. Did it make him more mad? Look at him now. What a fucking fumble. What a fumble Chad Gable was. How the hell did you not put the fucking... Did you not put the Intercontinental Championship on him? And you pin Bronson Reed? After everything you've done? After trying to make this guy a superstar? You have him lose? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And he gets up afterwards, and Seth is on the ramp, and he's telling him, I made you famous, blah, blah, blah. And Bronson's standing there. He's got a little bit of blood on his forehead. Dude, I am not going to understand the logic behind having Bronson Reed take a pin here. That was just flat out dumb, if you ask me, man. It really, really, really was. It really was, man. I don't know. I was not rocking with that one bit, man. I was not rocking with that at all. Where do we go from here? Well, the feud's got to continue, because now Bronson has to fucking get a win. Even though we should have already had one tonight, Bronson has to get a win. And yeah, that's what's got to happen. He's got to get his lick back now when he should have won. Bronson should have won this, and Rollins should have been in the chase to get a victory. You have Bronson win the first one, have Rollins chase, have Rollins get the victory in the second, no matter how it should have been. Then that gives Bronson a reason to be angry to go back for one more, and he wins. And if they do a trilogy, Bronson needs to win the next two, because this was flat out bullshit, man. I don't know why you ever even thought of having him lose this match. Ridiculous. On top of the fact they've done damn near a flawless job booking this guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. That was incredibly annoying. That was incredibly annoying, being the work that they put into him. The MF Doom attire did go hard, though. Got to reiterate that one more time. That was probably my favorite part of the match. Even though the match was great, man, it's just head fucking scratching ending. Head scratching ending, man. The first of the Crown Jewel Championship, the Nona's Pizza title. Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. Champ versus champ. The match was very the match was very middle of the road. It honestly did not start picking up for me at all until Stratton came out. But Nia and Liv were both down, as we then hear the music of Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton runs out there. She goes to hand the referee the briefcase as Nia walks up to her and asks, "What are you doing?" Tiffany says, "Nothing. I wasn't doing anything." She walks Tiffany around the ring towards by where the ramp was, or where the ramp is. She walks Tiffany back over there as she screams at her to get out, get away, go away. She goes back in the ring and gets a little bit more offense in on, Liv starts getting a little bit more offense, a little bit of offense in on Nia. Tiffany's standing on the ramp. She looks at the briefcase. She looks at the ring. She runs back, and she's for real this time, man. She's gonna cash in the briefcase. She's gonna cash in the briefcase as excuse me. She's going to cash in the briefcase. She hands the ref the briefcase. And as her and the ref have both of their hands on it, Raquel Rodriguez stops the cash in. She grabs the briefcase. Tiffany is screaming at her as Liv and Raquel get on the outside of the ring and they corner Tiffany. They corner Tiffany in the corner of the barricade as Nia runs into all of them, breaks the whole thing up. She drags Liv Morgan in the ring, hits her, leans her on the ropes, hits her with a clothesline, leg drop, and goes for the bonsai drop on Morgan. Dominic slides in Tiffany's briefcase. He slides the briefcase in the middle of the ring, runs around to one of the opposing sides of the ring, hops up. The ref goes to Dominic to tell him to get off the apron, and Raquel, as Nia is up on the second rope for the bonsai drop, she kicks Nia in the face. Nia falls down. Nia falls down as she leans up against the ropes. Liv hits Nia with Oblivion, and Liv Morgan wins the Crown Jewel Women's title. I did not expect that, but that actually made a lot of sense to do, because now what you're going to do now what you're going to do is you're going to make Nia Jax very pissed off at not Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton. You're going to make her very pissed off at Tiffany Stratton, and I could very much see Tiffany Stratton cashing in the month of November or December. I could very well see her cashing in, maybe on an episode of SmackDown they do it, or maybe they do it on like a Survivor Series. Maybe they do it on Saturday Night Main Event. Maybe they do it on one of those, but originally, like I said, I thought Nia Jax was not going to be pinned. But being what they did, it actually did make sense, bro. Where you almost have Tiffany, not almost, you do have Tiffany Stratton inadvertently, cost her the match by teasing a cash in. By teasing a cash in, it costed her the match, man. And obviously, Nia Jax is going to be very upset because their friendship is sort of souring anyway. So now that Tiffany did this could be one of the final straws for Nia Jax. But an idea I was thinking of is maybe on SmackDown, Nia Jax finally, has it up to here with Tiffany Stratton. She takes her out, and Tiffany's off television for maybe a couple weeks, maybe about a month or so, somewhere around that time. And the next time we see Tiffany Stratton, she is coming back to get revenge and cash in on Nia Jax, man. And I think it's going to be a great thing. And I'm excited for her to be the women's champion, because when she was NXT women's champion, she had a lot of great showcases. I could think back to that one match against Becky Lynch. It was very good. It was a very good match, man. And I want to see her tear it up with more main roster women in a one-on-one scenario. And I think, Nia Jax, not that Nia's reign has been horrible by any means, but I think Tiffany's definitely going to have a better reign in terms of just in-ring quality, because Nia hasn't been bad in her second run. They've actually sort of booked her to perfection a little bit with what they have her do. But at the end of the day, man, Tiffany is obviously way better in terms of an in-ring, from an in-ring standpoint. So I'm excited for when Tiffany does eventually win the title. But I thought this was actually booked perfectly, man. I thought, again, I'll say it again, man. I seriously thought going into this that Nia Jax was not going to be pinned. I thought WWE was not going to pin her, but after they did it the way they did it, I thought, okay, that's actually that was a pretty perfect way to do it. So Liv Morgan holds up the Nona's fucking 42-inch pizza championship, and it is literally the size of 3/4 of her torso. It is like the size of 5 of her fucking heads put together. It is ginormous. It is fucking ginormous, man. So she's celebrating with the crown jewel title as, yeah, that was that, man. It looks, these things look, these things, man, those are some odd looking titles, man. Saudi does not have an eye for championships, man. They every time there's some sort of Saudi belt, it is just got to be one of the most hideous fucking things you've ever seen in your entire life. So there you have it, bro. But Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Sorry to crack my back. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Or lack thereof. Well, Owens came out wearing a Cowboy Bob Orton shirt. Great stuff. Great stuff, Kevin. Orton comes out He's doing his whole entrance. The Saudi crowd is glazing him. They're singing his song. Um, he's up on the top, and he goes to do the Orton pose, and Owens hits him with a chair. He starts annihilating him with the chair. These two get onto the outside. Owens takes apart the announce table, but it ends up costing him because Orton gives him a backdrop on the table. He gives him a backdrop on the table. These two then brawl more into the ring. As there's a ref in the ring. He's trying to stop Owens. Owens turns around and gives the ref a stunner. He stuns the ref. As more officials keep coming out. I think Jamie Noble was out there. Sean Daivari, I think, was out there. None of these guys can stop them. So it leads to the two general managers coming out there. And I'm very excited for a skit on Monday Night Raw because I know Adam Pearce knows he had no business being out there. And he's the one that caught the craziest stray. And it is because, and you know damn well, it is because he's not over these two guys. You know these guys wouldn't have done that to Nick Aldis, bro. It's almost like Orton seen Pearce and was like, fuck it, you're not my boss. So he just... Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce get in the ring, and they're trying to stay away, but let these guys know to stop. But Adam Pearce walks up to Orton, and he kind of tries to back him off. Orton just turns around and just clocks this guy with an RKO. Just dead in the middle of the ring, just hits Adam Pearce with a fucking RKO. These two start fighting into the crowd. Kevin Owens grabs a production crate lid. So obviously not the whole crate. Those things are like 500 pounds. But the lid to it. And he decks Orton in the head multiple times with it. So Orton's damn near like incapacitated at this point. You could just clearly tell his eyes are glazed over. He's just not in the same world. Owens then walks up on the stands and hits an elbow drop onto tables. As I was like going crazy. I was like, oh shit, that's nuts. And then all of a sudden I just see Cardi B, and she's talking to Bianca Belair on the phone about SummerSlam in New Jersey. And I was like, wait, what just happened? And I initially wasn't sure if we were going to get something when we came back, if they were actually going to try to start the match. I figured they weren't going to try to actually do that, but I didn't know if there was going to be something after the fact. But there was not. It went to like, WWE's commercials just promoting their own stuff on Peacock. And when we came back, they were gone. This was probably like a 10-minute sequence. This was so chaotic and just so amazing. And I loved every minute of it, man. It was very chaotic. It really sells the feud. It really sells this, Kevin Owens is just, he's unhinged, man. He's not in the right frame of mind. This is a different Kevin Owens we're seeing. And under Triple H, I'm very interested to see where a heel KO went, because this Kevin Owens is dead serious, right? Whenever Kevin Owens was a heel under Vince McMahon liked Kevin to be very comical as a heel, right? He liked him to be he liked him to be a hothead that was funny, right? Like everybody remembers when he turned heel and he was coming out dressing up as Stone Cold, or he's yelling at Ezekiel, "You're Elias, you're Elias." I'm not the only one that could see that. Like Vince liked just a very comical Kevin Owens as a heel. He liked a very, just comical, just like somebody to laugh at. He never viewed Owens, maybe in his, very early run, maybe, but even when he was a heel with Jericho, he was just, He was very it was very comical. It was fucking fantastic, but it was very comical. Um and whenever Vince did try to make Owens a very serious figure, it was face of America, Kevin Owens, and we all wish we can forget that one. But you get my point. But I'm very interested to see what Triple H does with Kevin Owens as a serious heel this time around, because everybody loves OG NXT Kevin Owens. I mean, everybody loves that version of Kevin Owens. And I'm just interested to see, you know, Kevin be this serious heel, and I love it. I love it, man. And thank you, Kevin Owens, for wanting to turn heel, because we are in an age of WWE where everybody wants to be the superhero and nobody wants to fucking turn heel. That was another thing I forgot to mention with Bianca Belair. God, I want her to go heel, bro. I don't care how many little girls look up to you, bro. They all look up to Rhea Ripley now, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Dude, turn heel. Have a great heel run. I mean, look at what being a heel did for Roman Reigns. I don't get that argument, dude. But whatever. Bianca Belair wants to stay a heel for whatever fucking reasons, and it is what it is, I guess, man. But yeah. So that is that is that. But regardless, back to Owens. Yeah, I'm glad they went with the heel turn, man, and I really think that it's gonna pay off. I really think it's gonna pay off for him, man. I think this is gonna be, it may even end with a world championship, man. Obviously, I don't see that going into WrestleMania, but sometime next year, man, maybe he's the one to take the world title from Sami Zayn after Sami wins his first world title. Maybe he's the guy Sami beats to win the world title, you know? So there's a lot of interesting stuff they could do there, man, and I would really love to see WWE give Owens the ultimate honor of giving him another world championship, man. This dude hasn't held singles gold in, wow, yeah, early 2017. Yeah, early 2017, man. So, yep, Fastlane 2017 was the last time he held a world title. Not singles gold, but a world title. I mean, singles gold, actually, that even might have been the face of America, too. So, either way, 2017. But yeah, man, I would really love WWE to give that to Owens. I think Owens deserves it, and I would like to see his hard work be appreciated in WWE, because we know Triple H loves him, bro. But no, this was amazing, man. This is a great segment. I really love just the chaotic nature around this, and just everything surrounding it, bro. So I thought this was very good. And I'm excited to see how they expand on this further. Which they could end up doing, you know, maybe a triple threat at they could end up maybe doing a triple threat at Survivor Series, or they could end up just doing a one-on-one match, man. Maybe they do Owens versus Orton versus Cody, or maybe they just do Owens versus Rhodes at the pay-per-view, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this all goes, man. But this segment was, or this, yeah, sort of like match segment, I guess, was very good, and I enjoyed it a lot, man. I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah. And with the next one, we have the United States Championship triple threat match. This match went 9 minutes. See, Liv Morgan and Nia Jax went 8, but being that, you know, it is a Nia Jax match, and again, Nia is not horrible. Nia is just not necessarily the kind of talent I want to see in the ring for 15, 20 minutes. And that's okay, because that's not her role. LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade got 9 minutes. The women's tag team match got 12. If those were swapped, I think that would have been better. Because, and I say that because, not because this match wasn't great. This match was very good. and they used all 9 minutes to their advantage. And it ended up being short, sweet, and entertaining, and very good. It ended up being very good. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy this, but man, if these guys just would have got an extra 3 minutes. But you know what spot they're in, bro? They're in the spot where, you know, they're in the spot before the main event, and everybody knows the spot before the main event is always the match that is prone to be cut, right? So if these guys would have just got the 12 minutes instead of the 9, like the women's tag team match did, that would have been great. Andrade hit a Spanish fly to Carmelo Hayes off the top rope. LA Knight would then get some more offense in, bro, and hit a double elbow drop. He did his little LA Knight elbow drop onto Carmelo and onto Carmelo and Andrade. We moved on a little bit further in the match, and Andrade is trying to hit Melo with a superplex. He's trying to hit him with a superplex. LA goes for his move where he like bunny hops onto the top rope, but he kind of slipped and he fell and gotta be a very uncomfortable position to be in. But you guys know the spot on the top rope where the fucking guy slips and his fucking stuff gets caught up on the top rope. That does not seem very comfortable to be in. So I felt very bad for LA Knight when that happened to him. Because God, I can't even imagine. He slips. He actually didn't even fall. He actually, as he was hung up on the top rope, he managed to restructure himself and stand back up on the top rope. To the point where he gave Andrade a German suplex off the top. Melo, as LA was getting up, Melo hit the leg drop. I believe it's called Nothing But Net. He hit the leg drop on LA Knight. And then a bit further in this, bro, Melo went to go for some sort of tilt-a-whirl move on Andrade. LA countered it, and as Melo was in the middle of doing the move, as soon as he got grounded and was standing parallel with Andrade, Melo had Andrade's head the same way LA Knight grabbed Melo's head and hit both of them at the same time with a BFT. I swear to you, I almost said BLT. Every single time I call that move, I always almost say BLT, bro. But anyways, he hits the BFT and pins Carmelo Hayes to retain the United States Championship, bro. Short and sweet is what this match was, bro. Short and sweet. It was short, but it was damn good. It was damn good, and I very, very much so enjoyed this match, man. Like I said, I an extra 3 minutes would have been nice, but you know, being that they're in the second to last spot, you know, that spot is always eligible to be cut. So that spot's always eligible to be cut. So obviously that didn't play to their favor, but I even thought if you switch this match with the women's tag team match and put this triple threat match on second, that would have been nice as well. That would have been very nice as well, man. But nonetheless, man, they put on a great match. I know a lot of people wanted to see Andrade or Melo win it, and I wouldn't have minded that myself either. I honestly think Melo is the guy destined to eventually take the title from LA Knight. However, the only problem with that is, because I know a lot of people wanted to see, you know, Melo and Andrade have the real Game 7, you know, the one that doesn't get interrupted. Match number 7 for the U.S. title. And I get that argument. I do. I get it. And I think that would have been a nice addition to their in-ring work on SmackDown. But the only problem with that, what the hell do you do with LA Knight right now if he loses the U.S. title? So, which, you know, uh, yeah, I eventually think it's going to be Mello or Andrade to eventually take the title. I really think it's going to be Mello, but I would also like to see them have some other mid-carders on SmackDown step up, which is why I suggested, whenever you do want to call up a guy like Obafemi or a guy like Trick Williams, call some of these guys up to SmackDown, because Raw has a very healthy mid-card division if they want to use it, right? You got Bronson and Sheamus and Pete and, could have had Bo Dallas if you want him, but they don't want to take him out of the mask. Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser, and they do most of the guys in the Judgment Day, most of the guys in the LWO, you could slot those guys into a mid card role if you wanted them to. So Raw, I think, is a lot better off, but SmackDown, man, I think could use. For right now, man, I think they could use more just solidified legit mid-card talent. You know what I mean? And I think that would really really benefit the show a lot. So yeah. So that is that. And that is that, man, as yeah, LA Knight wins with the BLT. So yeah, that was that. And like I said, very short. They really did make the most out of what they had, though. But still, I really would have liked to have seen this go just a couple more minutes, man. But please keep putting the U.S. title, keep putting LA Knight, keep putting Mello, keep putting Andrade, keep putting guys like this on a premium live event, because what they do between those ropes is premium. So, yeah. And the main event for the second Nona's Pizza Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the Crown Jewel title. So these guys got 23 minutes. Oh, I also forgot to mention. Well, speaking of Gunther, they announced a number one contender match for Monday Night Raw Monday, but it's going to be filmed tomorrow, so we're going to have all the spoilers. They announced a number one contender match: Sheamus, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio. One of those men is going to challenge Gunther, I'm assuming at Survivor Series. Well, I guess that burst the bubble on the CM Punk match. I know that was the rumor going into this. But honestly, if they do the Punk match, I see them doing that in front of a bigger crowd. I don't know where they're doing Elimination Chamber. Canada. Canada's the rumor. It was going to be the UK in Manchester or somewhere in the Birmingham, I think, was the other place. That ended up not being the case because the UK wanted to wait for a bigger show. Obviously, we went over that on news. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But it looks like it's going to be in Toronto. Maybe they save Punk and Gunther for there. That's even if they do the match at all. Maybe they do it for the Royal Rumble undercard. But overall, I feel like Punk might be in the Rumble. I don't know, man. I don't know. But either or, being that that's the number one contender match they gave us, it doesn't seem like we're getting the Punk and Gunther Survivor Series match that was rumored, which I would have liked, especially if Punk's not going to win the title. I thought it would have been nice at Survivor Series, but I do understand the argument of that being too big of a match for an undercard of any show when you have as big of a match as War Games main eventing. So I understand that. But either way, if you do it at the Royal Rumble or a show like that, that's still going to be on an undercard too. So that's why I maybe suggest Elimination Chamber. But then again, I also see Gunther coming out of WrestleMania as World Heavyweight Champion. So Do you do it at one of those fun summer shows? Do they do it at Backlash, wherever they decide to do Backlash next year? Do you do it at Money in the Bank next year, or do you do it at SummerSlam in New Jersey? They have a lot of options. They have a lot of options. That's even if we get a Punk and Gunther match at all. Maybe they want to pass on it. So it's interesting to see. But it does right now look like Damian Priest and Gunther is going to be the undercard match for the Survivor Series War Games this year. So the War Games, the Survivor Series undercard. I mean, you guys know what I'm seeing. But yeah, man. So yeah, I don't know, man. Well, like I said, I guess that throws the Punk match out of consideration. But this match, it was good. It was good. I just I don't know. Maybe I expected a little bit more. I maybe expected a little bit more out of this match. It wasn't you know, when I think of Cody and I think of Gunther, I definitely thought this was going to be, and again, I'm not by any means saying that this was a bad match at all. Like I said, it was good. I don't know that it got to great status. Okay, I don't know that it got to great status, man. It was I definitely I definitely felt there could have been more. I definitely felt there could have been more, man, and it had a very abrupt ending, a good ending. I would say I was pretty happy with the ending. I mean, if I mean I'm never gonna be in the instance where a world champion needs to be pinned, but if you were gonna do it, I guess that was a good way to do it. I mean, then again, you had an easy out to have somebody like Kevin Owens come and cost Cody Rhodes, but being that what you did with Kevin Owens earlier in the night was this brawl that took everybody out, I guess it didn't make the most sense for that to happen after the brawl. But I don't know, man. I just, again, I'm never gonna be in the case where you know where somebody needs to where the world champion needs to be pinned. But if you are going to pin one of the guys, the way you did it tonight, I guess was a good way. Like I said, if you weren't going to have somebody come in and cost Cody Rhodes the match, like a Kevin Owens or something like that, then I guess this was the way to do it, because you technically didn't, pin Gunther, really. It was kind of just Cody outsmarted him. And this is going to have to be something we deal with every year, just because the Nona's Pizza title needs to be defended. So I don't know, man. Again, I'm never gonna be in the scenario where I'm saying, well, the world champion needs to get pinned, but bro, the way you did it is, I mean, I guess it was somewhat smart. I get what I'm saying is I would rather this than Cody Rhodes just hit him with, a crossroads or two and send him home packing. Gunther was able to immediately jump up and realize, fuck, I lost the match. But, I mean, they honestly did the best they could, bro. But in terms of the match itself, yeah, I mean, it really wasn't anything too crazy for me, man, that just jumped off the chart or screamed match of the year candidate for me. It honestly really didn't, bro. It honestly really didn't. And it was just, it was something that like I said, bro, just has kind of left me saying, that was it. Gunther, before the match, was calling his shot that he was going to incapacitate Cody with a sleeper hold. As we got a little later into the match, man, Gunther had this sleeper in on Cody. Cody would then get out of it. He would hit the crossroads to Gunther, but he could not make the cover because of the damage that the sleeper hold did. Gunther would then hit Cody with a dropkick powerbomb combo as Cody kicked out. And at this point in the match, we were getting a little later into the match, and Gunther started to get a little flustered because he was not able to put Cody Rhodes away in quick fashion. So he started to get a little flustered. And Gunther then began to muff Cody in the face, trying to break him mentally. Cody would get fired up, tell Gunther to hit him. Gunther's chopping him. Cody's, telling him, come on. Gunther would then hit a clothesline. Gunther would hit a clothesline on Cody for a near fall. Cody, a little bit later, would then hit a crossroads for a near fall on Gunther. He would go up for the Cody Cutter. Gunther, in a beautiful counter, grabbed him for the sleeper, gets him on the ground, and before he could wrap his legs around his body so he couldn't move, Cody rolled back into a pin, into the pinning scenario. I don't know if you guys are big black and gold guys like I am, but if you guys remember NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, this was the way Kairi Sane won the title against Shayna Baszler. Shayna had the Kirifuda clutch in. Kairi rolled back and, outsmarted, Shayna Baszler, really. So that's exactly what Cody did here, as Gunther immediately hops up in realization he just lost the match. He starts banging on the mat. We then go to the replays, and by the time we come back from the replays, Gunther he's wearing the world title, and he is shaking Cody Rhodes' hand, in respect. Again, man, it did leave me wanting a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. It did leave me wanting a little bit more. But the thing about this, bro, is just, I don't know why we just had to go out of our way to have a Saudi Arabian championship that it's put in place so a world champion has to lose and make the other world champion look secondary. I mean, again, WWE, Triple H, he booked this about the best way he could have, bro, with just, again, not necessarily having Gunther be pinned to the mat, but more of Cody outsmarting Gunther to pin him to the mat. So I can respect that. But either way, man, I seriously question why the hell once a year we have to make a respective world champion look secondary to anybody. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, man. But again, like I said, man, Triple H, I mean, this was probably about the best way you could have kept Gunther looking with the wake of him being pinned. But at the end of the day, bro, I still had no interest in seeing Gunther being pinned in the first place. I actually had no interest in seeing Gunther versus Cody in this fashion regardless. They've teased Gunther and Cody at the past 2 Royal Rumbles. I wanted to wait for this match until these guys were fighting each other for a world championship, not for a title that is the size of their fucking torso. So, yeah, man, that was that. Like I said, the match was good. The match was a very good match, man. Like I said, the match was really good. It was very good, man, but it just didn't reach great status for me. It really didn't, and maybe that's a good thing, because maybe, they can leave the door open for when they actually do fight each other for an actual world championship. And maybe, like I said, maybe they've left a little bit of food on the plate for when there actually is an encounter for a world title between the two guys. But yeah, man, I'm never gonna be the guy that is in the scenario of wanting to see Cody Rhodes, or not Cody Rhodes, but wanting to see a world champion, any world champion lose, bro. So yeah, that's that, man. As yeah, guys, that is everything. Manager Logan, he's finally here, man. Unbelievable. He's late again. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Despicable. But yeah, man, that that was that, man. But overall, man, I thought Crown Jewel was a good show, man. I thought it was a good show. Like I said, and obviously we just went over everything, bro. But that is what I think were head scratching decisions. Like I said, I thought there was quite a bit of them on the show, but that is what I thought was some head scratching decisions, bro, and why I thought they were head scratching decisions. But yeah, man, I mean that is that was that, man. That was that. And yeah, like I said, man, that was Crown Jewel, and those are my reasons why I thought that there was a lot of head scratching decisions. But overall, it was an enjoyable show. I did enjoy I did enjoy the show. I did enjoy overall. I thought they had some good stuff on here. A lot of great in-ring stuff, man, or a lot of good in-ring stuff at that. I liked obviously I liked the opening bloodline stuff, even though I thought some things didn't make sense, like I reiterated, man. I liked the story with Tiffany, man. The Bronson Reed match was good. That was the worst part, man. Is well, the worst part was him taking the pin, but that definitely one of the things that sucked the most was they had a good match, bro, and it just had a bad ending, dude. The Owens and Orton stuff was very good, and the triple threat was very good, bro. But overall, man, I thought that I thought that the show was good. Like I said, I just thought there was just a lot of questionable decisions, man. There was a lot of questionable decisions on Triple H's part that I just don't really understand why he did, bro. But the show ends with Gunther shaking Cody's hand. Gunther walked away. Triple H was in the ring with I guess the Saudi prince, or one of them, or some higher power in Saudi Arabia, as well as Liv Morgan, and they both celebrated with titles that damn near engulf their whole bodies and look like the fucking size of the 42-inch Nona's pizza. So, yeah, man, that is that, man, and that is basically everything here today on your Crown Jewel, your official Crown Jewel review, man. As thank you guys so very much for joining me on this solo stream. Yes, I always appreciate you guys coming through, man, and by the looks of it, bro, we had a pretty good turnout, man, so I truly thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Always appreciate it, man, always appreciate it. And the next time you will be catching us, obviously the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir K, will be back in the cut with us, bro. But thank you guys so very much for supporting the podcast and joining me for this solo stream, man. It is very, very, very appreciated, as always, man. You guys always come through, and I appreciate you guys so much for it. And with that, it has been always a pleasure for my Johnny. And again, thank you guys so very much for joining us, man. And always coming through for your boy. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much, man. This has been another edition of the post-show review, the WWE post-show premium live event post-show reviews, man. And this has been your Crown Jewel 2024 official show review. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here today. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this edition of your WWE PLE post-show review. And it has been always a pleasure for my Johnny. And with that, thank you guys so very much for joining me here today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys on Monday to talk about Raw and Fright Night Dynamite on NHP Unscripted. And peace.